Hey y'all, how's everyone doing? You know, we're reading novel today. I'm gonna do a quick message for y'all. I don't want to do nothing too long. Yeah, I've been doing good, keeping up with the readings. I'm very proud of everyone. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. What is a message that me and the people need today that we can add to our lives? Something quick, straightforward, or whatever it is we need to hear for today. I can't wait for the weather to get nice. I cannot wait for the weather to get nice. What is the message that me and the people need today? The 12 disciples. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. Matthew 10:1. This is chapter 18, page 89. The 12 disciples represents the 12 qualities of mind which can be controlled and disciplined by man. If disciplined, they will at all times obey the command of the one who has disciplined them. These 12 qualities in man are potentials of every mind. Undisciplined, their actions resemble more the actions of a mob than they do of a trained and disciplined army. All the storms and confusions that engulf man can be traced directly to these 12 ill-related characteristics of the human mind in its present slumbering states. Until they are awakened and disciplined, they will permit every rumor and sensuous emotion to move them. When these 12 are disciplined and brought under control, the one who accomplishes this control will say to them, hereafter I call. Until they are awakened and disciplined, they will permit every rumor and sensuous emotion to move them. So this is what we was talking about last week, about taking control of your mind and taking control of your emotions. And to be awake subconsciously, not just consciously. You understand? When these 12 are disciplined and brought under control, the one who accomplishes this control will say to them, hereafter I call you not slaves, but friends. John 15:15. He knows that from that moment on, each acquired discipline attribute of mind will befriend and protect him. The names of the 12 qualities reveal their natures. These names are not given to them until they are called to discipleship. They are Simon, who was later surnamed Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, oh my God, Bartholomew. I know this name, but I can't say it right now. Like Bartholomew. Oh, y'all know that name. Bartholomew. Well, looking at it is making me not say it. Thomas, Matthew, James, the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Canaanite, and Judas. Matthew 10, Mark 1, Mark 3, Luke 6. The first quality to be called and disciplined is Simon, or the attribute of hearing. The faculty when lift. The first quality to be called and disciplined is Simon, or the attribute of hearing. This faculty, when lifted to the level of a disciple, permits only such impressions to reach consciousness as those which his hearing has commanded him to let enter. How everyone doing? Everyone doing good. No matter what the wisdom of man might suggest or the evidence of the senses convey, if such a suggestion and idea are not in keeping with that which he hears, he remains unmoved. This one has been instructed by his Lord and made to understand that every suggestion he permits to pass his gate will, on reaching his Lord and Master, his consequence, leave its impression there. And no matter what the wisdom of man might suggest or the evidence of his sense convey, if such suggestions and ideas are not in keeping with that which he hears, he remains unmoved. This one has been instructed by his Lord and made to understand that every suggestion he permits to pass his gate will, on reaching his Lord and Master, his consciousness, leave its impressions there, which impressions must in time become an expression. The instruction to Simon is that he should permit only dignified and honorable visitors or impressions to enter the house, consciousness of his Lord. No mistake can be covered up or hidden from his Master, for every expression of life tells his Lord, whom he consciously or unconsciously entertained. When Simon, by his works, proved himself to be a true and faithful disciple, then he receives the surname of Peter, or the Rock, the unmoved disciple, the one who cannot be bribed or coerced by any visitor. He is called by his Lord Simon Peter, the one who faithfully hears the commands of his Lord, and besides which commands he hears not. That is a loyalty. It is just Simon Peter who discovers the I am to be Christ, and for his discovery is given the keys to heaven, and is made the foundation stone upon which the temple of God rests. Building must have firm foundations, and only the disciplined hearing can, on learning that the I am is Christ, remain firm and unmoved, and the knowledge that I am Christ is beside me, there is no Savior. The second quality to be called to discipleship is Andrew, or courage. As the first quality, faith is in oneself, is developed. It automatically calls into being its brother, courage. Faith is oneself, which asks no man's help, but quietly and alone appropriates the consciousness of the quality desired, and in spite of reason or the evidence of his senses to the contrary, continues faithful, patiently waiting, in the knowledge that his unseen claim, if sustained, must be realized. Such faith develops a courage and strength of character that are beyond the wildest dreams of the undisciplined man, whose faith is in things seen. The faith of the undisciplined man cannot really be called faith. For if the armies, medicines, or wisdom of man in which his faith is placed be taken from him, his faith and courage go with it. But from the disciplined one, the whole world could be taken, and yet he will remain faithful in the knowledge that the state of consciousness in which he abides must in due season embody itself. Yeah. Oh my God. I want to say something. I'm going to say it just in case. But you got to really be about the things you believe. A lot of people not receiving because they're not believing. Like a lot of people, they know how to do better, but they don't do better. They know how to do better, but they don't do it. Why? Because they're stuck in their old habits, that old mindset. You understand? And a lot of people, they think that, oh, I'll change tomorrow, I'll change next week, I got time to change. No, do it now. You have to do it now. You have to do, all we have is now. Oh, like, loyalty is Oh my God, everything. Loyalty is everything. Faith is everything. This courage is Peter's brother Andrew. Hold on, wait, did I skip? The faith of the undisciplined man cannot really be called faith. For if the army's medicine or wisdom of man in which his faith is placed be taken from him, his faith and courage go with it. Oh my God. But from the disciplined one, the whole world could be taken, and yet he will remain faithful in the knowledge that the state of consciousness in which he abides must in due season embody itself. This courage is Peter's brother Andrew, the disciple who knew what it is to dare, to do, and to be silent. The next two, third and fourth, who are called, where does sun go? Anyway, the next two, third and fourth, who are called, are also related. These are the brothers James and John. James is James the just, the righteous judge, and his brother John, the beloved. Justice to be wise must be administered. Don't y'all love reading? Like, I love books. I feel like, I'm not gonna say it. I just love books. I lost where I was at. 1 second. These are the brothers, James and John. James the just, the righteous judge, and his brother John, the beloved. Justice to be wise must be administered with love, ever turning the other cheek, and at all times returning good for evil, love for hate, non-violence for violence. I told y'all this last week. It's important to choose love. You're not choosing love, it's only hurting you. And most people, when they do stuff intentionally to hurt you and you're mad and you end up hurting yourself, they're happy. That's why you see people go on with their lives, because the damage is done and they get power off of that. No, take your power back, forgive, let go, and move on. Heal. It's easy. It is easy. It's easy. It's easy. Why do I say it's easy? Because you're making it hard. It's easy. All you gotta do is agree. All you gotta do is agree that that's what you want to do, and it will happen. Easy. Just stand on business. Easy. And then you're gonna be like, oh, this was I was afraid of this. This what? I should have did this a long time ago. You understand? It's easy. I'm not gonna say it's easier said than done. No, it's actually easier done than said. Because by the time you say it and you thinking about it, you could have done it by now. You could have delete people's numbers, block people, up and out of there. You know what we used to do when we used to go like that? Just start normal when a thought come in your... So, I'm telling y'all, it has to, this is not a one-time thing and then somebody come in your life and then make you mad and you back to being evil again. No, you have to really have a change of heart and continue forward. That's what you have to do. Jezebel's going to be Jezebels. Narcissist is going to be narcissists. You understand? You waiting your life for them to change? Oh, I wouldn't hold my breath. Oh, but there's a secret in there, though. That when you change, everything else changes, though. And the power that they supposedly had over you, they don't have anymore. Why? Because you don't agree with it. So agree with what you want to happen. We spoke about this. Y'all, we spoke about this. We spoke about this. Are you doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing? You owe you an explanation. You owe you. You understand? You owe you. You owe you. I was going to continue reading, but I got to say something on it again. Like, you cannot change for a day and then think when you don't see no results that you're done. It doesn't work like that. It never worked like that. You got to decide which one you want. Oh, I just seen 777 on the license plate. It's right here. 777. But you have to decide. You have to decide. That's what you have to do. You have to decide. The disciples, James, symbol. It's something. Why does it keep? It's like nagging at me. What do I need to say right now? Let it come out as clear as possible. Let it come out as clear as possible. What am I trying to say right now? What do I need to say to the people right now? What do I need to say? You can't receive a thing if you don't have faith that you can receive it. If you don't believe, you can't receive. It don't work like that. You can't have faith for 5 minutes and then when it don't happen, you back to your old ways. You cannot. I have no respect for the people that comes into my life and then encourages me to go backwards. I have no respect for them people. For the people that wants me to smoke and drink. To do all the things that I said I don't want to do. I have no respect. I have no need for those people in my life anymore. They're part of my story. Is done. I have no time for people to be ignorant anymore. If you see the harms and dangers in the direction you're going in life and you're not doing anything to better yourself, I have no time for it. I cannot follow you into the abyss. I will not leave my kingdom of heaven to come into a rut, to go to Lodabar. Lodabar is literally nothing. I will not dismiss my blessings to come. I will not leave my blessings to come live in misery with anyone, with anybody. No. 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 No, thank you. No, I'm good. I guess that's the message I need to get out. Simple. The disciple James, symbol of a disciplined judgment, must, when raised to the high office of a supreme judge, be blindfolded that he may not be influenced by the flesh, nor judge after the appearance of being. Disciplined judgment is administered by one who is not influenced by appearances. The one who has called these brothers to discipleship continues faithful to his command to hear only that which he has been commanded to hear, namely the good. And speaking of appearances, I noticed a lot of people, especially in my age, all types of ages, there's a huge difference from winning on social media and actually winning in real life. I do not respect those who win on social media but are failing in real life. Like, that is the biggest deceit I've ever come across. Well, one of the biggest deceits I ever come across. You understand? You can't come to me with your little social media following and I'ma deride you. I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. I've never been. I just wanted to say that was it. That was it. Now I'm gonna finish reading. The one who has called these brothers to discipleship continues faithful to his command to hear only that which he has been commanded to hear, namely the good. The man who has the quality of his mind disciplined is incapable of hearing and accepting as true anything, either of himself or another, which does not, on the hearing, fill his heart with love. These two disciples, or aspects of the mind, are one and inseparable when awakened. Such a discipline, one forgives all men for being that which they are. You see, you gotta forgive everybody for who I once was ignorant as well. Okay? I get it. No hate in my heart. I get it. But what? But what you not gonna do is come up in my space and make me. I hope everybody doing good though. I hope everybody doing good. He knows, as a wise judge, that every man perfectly expresses that which he is, a man conscious of being. He knows that upon the changeless foundation of consciousness, all manifestations rest, that changes of expressions can be brought about only through changes of consciousness. With neither condemnation nor criticism, these disciplined qualities of the mind permit everyone to be that which he is. However, although allowing this perfect freedom of choice to all, they are nevertheless ever watchful to see that they themselves prophesy and do, both for others and themselves, only such things which, when expressed, glorify, dignify, and give joy to the expressor. The fifth quality called to discipleship is Philip. This one asks to be shown the Father. The awakened man knows that the Father is the state of consciousness in which man dwells, and that this state or Father can be seen only as it is expressed. This is true. You have to embody God, and us as humans, we express Him. We express Him through our creativity. You understand? He knows himself to be the perfect likeness or image of that consciousness, our higher self, with which he is identified. So he declares, no man has at any time seen my Father, but I, the Son, who dwelleth in his bosom, have revealed him. John 1:18. Meaning, you could tell when God is in somebody's life, you know, like you can tell when that person is blessed and anointed. You know, is that the right word? Anointed? That don't sound right. Yes, so you know the word I'm saying, right? Therefore, when you see me, the Son, you see my Father. For I come to bear witness of my Father. John 14:7. And I am my Father, consciousness and its expression, God and man are one. Do you understand? This aspect of the mind, when discipline persists until ideas, ambitions, and desires become embodied realities. This is the quality which states, yet in my flesh shall I see God. Job 19:26. It knows how to make the world. It knows how to make the word flesh. John 1:14. How to give form to the formless. The sixth disciple, Bartholomew. See, I was going to say it until I read it. And you know how I know this word? Because that YouTuber dude that be doing them, the Chicago video. The sixth disciple is called Bartholomew. The quality is the imaginative faculty, which quality of the mind, when once awake, it distinguishes one from the masses. We talked about this too. An awakened imagination places the one so awakened head and shoulders above the average man, giving him the appearance of a beacon light in the world of darkness. No quality so separates man from man as does the disciplined imagination. This is the separation of the wheat from the chaff. Those who given most to society are our artists, scientists, inventors, and others with vivid imaginations. Should a survey be made to determine the reason why so many seemingly educated men and women fail in their after college years? Or should it be made to determine the reason for the different earning powers of the masses? There would be no doubt but that imagination played the important part. Such a survey will show that it is imagination which makes a leader, while the lack of it makes one a follower. Instead of developing the imagination of man, our educational system oftentimes stifles it by attempting to put into our minds of man the wisdom he seeks. Instead of developing the imagination of man, our education system oftentimes stifles it by attempting to put into the mind of man the wisdom he seeks. It forces him to memorize a number of textbooks, which all too soon are disproved by latter textbooks. Education is not accomplished by putting something into man. Its purpose is to draw out of man the wisdom which is latent within him. May the reader call Bartholomew to discipleship, for only as this quality is raised to discipleship will you have the capacity to conceive ideas that will lift you beyond the limitations of man. And that is why I spend these Fridays with y'all reading, so it can make you receptive, because one of these sentences, one of these words, something gotta hit. Something have to hit, and it's gonna turn on a light bulb in your head, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I get it. I understand it now. You understand? You saw the dude with the gummy bears and water bottles, shooting them in the water bottle. I understand it now. The seventh is called Thomas. This disciplined quality doubts or denies every rumor and suggestion that are not in harmony with that which Simon Peter has been commanded to let enter. The man who is conscious of being healthy, not because of inherited health, diets, or climate, but because he is awakened and knows the state of consciousness in which he lives, will, in spite of the conditions of the world, continue to express health. He could hear, through the press, radio, and wise men of the world, that a plague is sweeping the earth, and yet he will remain unmoved and unimpressed. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to, this part right here. This part right here. Thomas the doubter, when disciplined, would deny that sickness or anything else which was not in sympathy with the consciousness to which he belonged had any power to affect him. This quality of denial, when disciplined, protects man from receiving impressions that are not in harmony with his nature. That's what I was trying to say earlier. When you don't agree, it cannot affect you. It can't. He adopts an attitude of total indifference to all suggestions that are foreign to that which he desires to express. Disciplined denial is not a fight or a struggle, but total indifference. Like, you understand? That's why I said you want to claim a curse for yourself. Claim it. It'll show up. Why not claim the blessing? It's going to show up. Whatever you claim will show up. So choose wisely. You understand? But if you need a reason to smoke and drink and be miserable, I understand it. And you're not ready to be your higher self, I understand it. And you're a coward because you're not courageous enough to step out and chase your dream, I understand. It's okay. But I just can't go that way. I went that route already. I'm not going back there again. You understand? And we ain't going back to what we used to do. What's that Future song? And we ain't ever going back to what we used to do. You feel me? We're not doing that. I'm not doing it. You could go. Bye-bye. But I'm not. You understand? You feel me? Okay. All right. You feel me? All right. Okay. Yes. Matthew the 8th is the gift of God. This quality of the mind reveals man's desire as gifts of God. The man who has called this disciple into being knows that every desire of his heart is a gift from heaven, and that it contains both the power and the plan of his self-expression. Such a man never questions the manner of his expression. He knows that the plan of expression is never revealed to man, for God's ways are past finding out. He knows that the plan of expression is never revealed to man, for God's ways are past finding out. Romans 11:33. He fully accepts his desire as gift already received and goes his way in peace, confident that they shall appear. The 9th disciple is called James. I'm going to say this before I continue on. But it's not that I have any animosity against the ignorant. It's just that when you hang around the ignorant for a prolonged period of time, they start telling you their doubts and worries, and they start planting their weeds in your garden. And then sooner or later, you're going to have weeds in your garden, and you're going to have to put in extra work to remove those. You understand? So that's the only thing about it. That's why I felt compelled to tell you so you can like see this in your own life and you can understand that you don't have to sit and listen and grow weeds when you could be growing a beautiful garden. You understand? You could have way less weeds in your garden than what you have. That's all I'm trying to say. The ninth disciple is called James, the son of Alphaeus. This is the quality of discernment. Oh, discernment is so important. You have, oh my God. A clear and ordered mind is the voice which calls the disciples into being. The faculty perceives that which is not revealed to the eye of man. This disciple judges not from appearances, for it has the capacity to function in the realm of courses, and so is never misled by appearances. And that's what I was trying to say about the social media. You make your money, boo, you make your money, boo. But everything that glitters is not gold. We all learned that, didn't we? Clairvoyance is the faculty which is awakened when this quality is developed in discipline. Yes. And if you didn't know, I am clairvoyant. Yes. Yes, I am. My intuition, too on point. Clairvoyance is the faculty which is awakened when its quality is developed in discipline. Not the clairvoyance of the mediumstic seance rooms, but the true clairvoyance or clear seeing of the mystic. That is, this aspect of the mind has the capacity to interpret that which is seen. Yes, discernment or the capacity to diagnose is the quality of James, the son of Alphaeus. So we're not talking about y'all gotta, I feel like psychic and clairvoyance are two different people, two different words, two different meanings. Like a lot of times we think about psychic, I like to, this is how I like to discern the two. I think about psychics being tarot readers. So basically, you'll take any suggestion from anyone. So the tarot reading, she basically pick random cards and then tell you what your fate will be. Clairvoyance, I feel like, is more intuitive. It's the still small voice of God, and it's like a line. It's perfect alignment, and there's no ill will in it. You understand? I don't understand. Yo, we gonna leave that alone for another day. Thaddeus the 10th is a discipline, is a disciple of praise, a quality in which the undisciplined man is woefully lacking. When this quality of praise and thanksgiving is awake within man, he walks with the words, "Thank you, Father," ever on his lips. He knows that his thanks for things not seen opens the window of heaven and permits gifts beyond his capacity to receive to be poured upon him. See, an attitude of gratitude is the best attitude. This is like one of my first talks I had with y'all. There's nothing cliche. The best attitude is an attitude of gratitude. And that's why I always walk around saying God is sufficient. Because God is. God truly is. The man who is not thankful for things received is not likely to be the recipient of many gifts from the same source. Until his quality of the mind is disciplined, man would not see the desert blossom as the rose. The desert blossom as the rose. Praise and thanksgiving are to the invisible gifts of God. One desires what rain and sun are to the unseen scene of the bosom of the earth. The 11th quality is called Simon. The 11th quality called is Simon of Canaan. A good key phrase for this disciple is hearing good news. Aww. Well, hello there. It is I, here to bring you good news. Okay, Simon of Canaan, or Simon from the land of milk and honey, when called to discipleship, is proof that the one who calls this faculty into being has become conscious of the abundant life. He can say with the palmist, When called to discipleship is proof that the one who calls this faculty into being has become conscious of the abundant life. He can say with the psalmist David, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Psalms 23:5. The disciplined aspect of the mind is incapable of hearing anything other than good news, and so is well qualified to preach the gospel or good spell. The 12th and last of the discipline, the quality. Woo! I'm going to just say what I got on my mind. I'm going to just say it. Because a lot of information is coming in. I'm starting to feel like, I don't know how many of these videos I've done, but I've seen all these qualities in the person that I have become. Let me know if y'all seen any of these qualities in yourselves as well. Because this is true progress. Like, this is true confirmation. This is phenomenal. This is what it means to vibrate high. Like, this is a high frequency right here. I'll say that. I'll say that. I'll say that. The 12th and last of the disciplined qualities of the mind is called Judas. When this quality is awake, man knows that he must die to that which he is before he can become that which he desires to be. So it is said of the disciple that he committed suicide, which is the mystic way of telling the initiated that Judas is the disciplined aspect of detachment. Well, we all know that. I just said that in the beginning of the conversation. I'm not going back. The way my energy started today and the way that this message just came through, somebody probably was looking to reconcile something with me. A relationship, a friendship, something. A bond, something. And it's not going to happen. Because I'm not who I used to be. I'm no longer who I used to be. I don't desire that anymore. Oh, that was powerful. This one knows that his I am or consciousness is his savior. So he lets all other saviors go. This quality, when disciplined, gives one the strength to let go. Oh my God. Y'all, and that's what I just told y'all today. Didn't I just tell y'all that today? I said letting go was easy. Oh, so we already know what happened. We already know. See? All you gotta do, you gotta stand on business. You gotta want to be your higher self and stand on business, and then the rest is easy. You just have to agree. Don't make things harder than what they need to be. This is why I love saying what I need to say. And when I do these reads, this is why I call myself clairvoyant, because everything always ties in. And unlike the psychic mediums, no offense to them, that do the tarot readings, that like to prepare you for the worst and do all the... No, you do not give negative suggestion. Not a ounce of power. Not nothing. No. I said no. No. Stand on business? No. What are you going to do? I'm not obligated to agree to nothing I don't want to agree to. You can't manipulate me. Can't be manipulated. I'm too intuitive to be manipulated. That's how it goes. Build up your discernment and you cannot be manipulated. That's the math of it. That's the math of it. The man who has called Judas into being has learned how to take his attention away from problems or limitations and to place it upon that which is the solution or savior. Except ye be born again. You cannot in any wise enter the kingdom of heaven. John 3:3. And I just told you, I'm in the kingdom. I'm not leaving the kingdom for nobody. For nobody. Nobody. And you know what happened? I used to leave the kingdom for people. People leave me right now. Oh, excuse me. People will leave me in that rut. They'll use me as a boot to get out the rut and leave me there. Like, how? But I ain't mad, because I ain't mad. That's what people gotta do. That's the ignorance of people paradigm. They have to, you know, step on people to get ahead, and take advantage of people to get ahead. But it's cool. You understand? And guess what? They losing. They never get the win in life. They never get the win in life. I don't know why I'm getting so many notifications on my phone. It's like I just opened up a gateway. I'm getting so many notifications on top of my phone. Anyway, we will not be distracted. Woo! No greater love hath man than this, that he give his life for a friend. John 15:13. When man realizes that the quality desire, if realized, will save and befriend him, he willingly gives up his life, present conception of himself, for his friend by detaching his consciousness from that which he is conscious of being and assuming the consciousness of that which he desires to be. I have no other desire than to be my higher self. Oh, the birds are so pretty. People don't like pigeons, but the way the pigeons is just flying, oh my God, beautiful. Beautiful. God is a beautiful creator of this universe. That, like, the way that they was in a flock just now and they just flying and chirping, beautiful. I love stuff like that. Judas, the one whom the world in its ignorance has blackened, will, when man awakes from his undisciplined state, be placed on high, for God is love, and no greater love has a man than this, that he laid down his life for a friend. Until man let go of that which he is now conscious of being, he will not become that which he desires to be. And Judas is the one who accomplishes this through suicide or detachment. And I feel like the crucial part of this, that's why I said earlier, you owe you. When you realize Christ is within you, and when you go against Christ and you self-betraying and stuff, yo, it's no worse feeling. Like, it don't matter about the outside people. When you can't keep your word to yourself, and when you know better and you just decided to go the opposite way, like the disgust, oh my God. Oh my God. When you really become aware of that part, and when you really realize what you've been doing to yourself and the situations you've been putting yourself in, like, things change. Oh my God. You gotta let go of the old you. You have to. These are the 12 qualities which were given to man in the foundation of the world. Man's duty is to raise them to the level of discipleship. When this is accomplished, man will say, I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. I have glorified thee on earth, and now, O Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. John 17:4-7. Y'all, I'm gonna find another message to tie into that, but I felt like that really summed up. I don't know how many of these videos I've done already. But I felt like that really all tied in. I'm gonna find one more message. I don't know, the way my energy started off today, it was just, but y'all know me, I'm a happy person, but I don't play about me, and God don't play about me at all. So I'm going to find another message to tie into that. That was amazing. That was truly amazing. What's a message that could tie into that? I know it was nothing quick about that message, but it, in a sense, it was. It gave the sum up. It gave the summary. But there's no rush. There's no anxiety. We got time, don't we? I do. If you ain't got time, make time, because this is more important. Like, your life literally depends on it. Because which way you going? You going to create or you're going to disintegrate? Which one? This is page 33. I don't know what chapter this is, but it says construct mentally a drama which implies that your desire is realized, and make it one which involves movement of self, and mobilize your outer physical self. Act precisely as though you were going to take a nap, and start the predetermined action in imagination. A vivid representation of the action is the beginning of action. Then, as you are falling asleep, consciously imagine yourself into the scene. The length of the sleep is not important. A short nap is sufficient, but carrying the action into sleep thickens fancy into fact. At first, your thought may be like rambling sheep that have no shepherd. Don't despair. That sounds so cute. Don't despair. Should your attention stray 70 times 7, bring it back 70 times 7 to its predetermined course until from sheer exhaustion it follows the appointed path. The inner journey must never be without direction, which you take to the inner road. Oh, we on the road, y'all. It is to do what you did. The inner journey must never be without direction. When you take to the inner road, it is to do what you did mentally before you started. You go for the prize you have already seen and accepted. In the road of Exandul, Professor John Livingston Lowe says, "But I have long had the feeling, which this study had matured to a conviction, that fancy and imagination are not two powers at all, but one. The valid distinction which exists between the lines, not in the materials with which they operate, but in the degree of intensity of the operant power itself. Working at high tension, the imaginative energy assimilates and transmutes. Keyed low, the same energy aggregates and yokes together those images which at its highest pitch it merges indissolubly into one." I have so much information coming in, because not only did we get an exercise to do to follow up with what I just said, you have to now imagine your higher self, because we become what we think about, and you must become it. Fancy, and so instead of spending your nights up thinking about who did you wrong and what you hate, you think about the good you're gonna create. You understand? Fancy assembles, imagination fuses. Here's a practical application of this theory. A year ago, a blind girl living in the city of San Francisco found herself confronted with a transportation problem. A rerouting of buses forced her to make 3 transfers between her home and her office. This lengthened her trip from 15 minutes to 2 hours and 15 minutes. Sheesh. She thought seriously about this problem and came to the decision that a car was the solution. She knew that she could not drive a car, but felt that she could be driven in one. Okay. Put this theory into the test that whenever the actions of the inner self corresponds to the actions which the outer physical self must take to appease desire, this desire will be realized. She said to herself, "I will sit here and imagine that I am being driven to my office." Respectfully. Sitting in her living room, she began to imagine herself seated in a car. She felt the rhythm of the motor. She imagined that she smelled the odor of gasoline, felt the motion of the car, touched the sleeve of the driver, and felt that the driver was a man. She felt the car stop, and turning to her companion, said, "Thank you very much, sir." To which he replied, "The pleasure is all mine." Then she stepped from the car and heard the door snap shut as she closed it. She told me that she centered her imagination on being in a car and, although blind, viewed the city from her imaginary ride. She did not think of the ride. She thought from the ride and all that it implied. This controlled and subjectively directed purposive ride raised her imagination to its full potency. She kept her purpose ever before her, knowing there was cohesion and purpose and purposive inner movement. In these mental journeys, an emotional community must be sustained. The emotion of fulfilled desire, expectancy, and desire were so intensely joined that they passed at once from a mental state into a physical act. And you see that expectancy and desire, you cannot receive something if you do not believe you can receive it. So whatever you need to do to believe, you need to believe. The inner self moves along the predetermined course best when the emotions collaborate. The inner self must be fired, and it is best fired by the thought of great deeds and personal gain. We must take pleasure in our actions. On two successive days, the blind girl took her imaginary ride, giving all the joy and sensory vividness of reality. A few hours after her second imaginary ride, a friend told her of a story in the evening paper. It was a story of a man who was interested in the blind. The blind girl phoned him and stated her problem. The very next day, on his way home, he stopped at the bar, and while there, he had the urge to tell the story of the blind girl to his friend, the proprietor. A total stranger, on hearing the story, volunteered to drive the blind girl home every day. The man who told the story... There was some people just arguing. I don't like seeing couples argue and fight. If it gets to a point where you gotta beg somebody to stay, just leave. Just leave. I may have to do the rest of this video upstairs because I think this car park next to me is Amazon, and I cannot be leaving my packages outside. Or I could probably just come back to the car. But let me finish. Anyway, that girl, she was just screaming, talking about money and something. I don't know. I think he cheated on her. Y'all don't ever beg nobody to stay with you. You gotta tell somebody you're worth it, and they don't see your worth. Just go. Just go. Just go. Just go. Have some dignity and respect for yourself. Just up and out of there. Let me finish reading. The man who told the story then said, "If you will take her home, I will take her to work." This was over a year ago, and since that day, the blind girl has been driven to and from her office by the two gentlemen. Now, instead of spending 2 hours and 15 minutes on 3 buses, she is at her office in less than 15 minutes. And on the first ride to her office, she turned to her good Samaritan and said, "Thank you very much, sir." And he replied, "The pleasure is all mine." Thus the objects of her imaginations were to her the realities of which the physical manifestation was only the witness. The determinative animating principles. The determined animated principles was the imaginative ride. Okay. Her triumph could be a surprise only to those who did not know of her inner ride. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all too. Success is no accident. Success is no accident. Success is no accident. She mentally viewed the world from the imaginative ride with such a clearness of vision that every aspect of the city attained identity. The inner movements not only produce corresponding outer movements. This is the law which operates beneath all physical appearance. He who practices these exercises of, this is what I was talking about a couple weeks ago, bilocation, will develop unusual powers of concentration and he who practices these exercises of bilocation. So bilocation means like the state of being or the ability to be in two places at the same time. So it's like you're somewhere physically, but mentally you're elsewhere, basically. So he who practices these exercises of bilocation will develop unusual powers of concentration and quiescence. It's Quiescence. Quiescence. I think it's quiescence. And will inevitably achieve waking consciousness on the inner and dimensionally larger world. Actualizing strongly, she fulfilled her desire for viewing the city from the feeling of her wish fulfilled. She matched the state desired and granted that to herself, which sleeping men acts of God. To realize your desire, an action must start in your imagination, apart from the evidence of the senses, involving movement of self and implying fulfillment of your desire. Duh, that's what it means to have faith. Y'all need faith. Y'all look stupid smoking and drinking with no faith. Telling somebody they ain't never gonna work. You sound dumb. You look dumb. And that was not Amazon. That was just some creep child kidnapping looking car. To realize your desire, fulfillment of your desire. Whenever it is the action which the outer self takes to appease desire, that desire will be realized. The movement of every visible object is caused not by things outside the body, but by things within it, which operate from within outward. The journey is in yourself. The journey is in yourself. You travel along the highways of the inner world. Without inner movement, it is impossible to bring forth anything. Inner action is introverted sensation. If you will construct mentally a drama which implies that you have realized your objective, then close your eyes and drop your thoughts inward, centering your imagination all the while in the predetermined action, and partake in that action. You will become a self-determined being. Inner action orders all things according to the nature of itself. Try it and see whether a desirable ideal once formulated is possible. For only by this process of experiment can you realize your potentialities. It is thus that this creative principle is being realized. So the clue to purposive living is to center your imagination in the action and feeling of the fulfilled desire with such awareness, such sensitiveness, that you initiate and experience movement upon the inner world. Ideals only act if they are felt, if they awaken inner movement. Inner movement is conditioned by self-motivation. Outer movement is compulsion. Wherever the sole of your foot should tread, the same give I unto you. Wherever the sole of your foot should tread, the same give I unto you. Joshua 1:3. And remember, the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. And remember, the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. Zephaniah 3:17. Wow. I'm actually happy that I got to read the actual thing about the bilocation. Oh, this was chapter 3 in Awakened Imagination, Highways of the Inner World. Did I read this to y'all before? No, I think I mentioned something about bilocation before, but this wasn't the thing. Oh my God. Man, that was today's message. I know that this one of them ones. I love having these deep conversations. Thank you for being here with me. Oh my God. I'ma see y'all next time. Be safe. Don't be ignorant. Be wise. Be wise. Today was great. Have a great day, everyone. Stay blessed. Miracles, blessings, abundance, everything that is good of the world shall come to you. You understand? Do you understand? I hope you understand. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.